Greetings, we'll cover a few details about Pablo Picasso and his life in a succinct manner. Here is a short rundown of his early years, education, career, persona, style and technique, artistic legacy, and demise. Spanish painter, sculptor, printmaker, potter, and stage designer, who lived in France for the most of his adult life. He is regarded as one of the most important painters of the 20th century, and is best known for co-founding the Cubist movement, creating built sculpture, creating collage, and experimenting with a wide range of artistic genres. The Proto-Cubist, painting Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, 1907, and the anti-war painting Guernica, 1937, a dramatic depiction of the bombing of Guernica by German and Italian air forces during the Spanish Civil War, are two of his most well-known creations. Also known as Pablo Ruiz Picasso, famous as Spanish painter, one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, and co-founder of the Cubist movement. Born October 25, 1881, Malaga, Spain. Died April 8, 1973, Mugens, France. Father, Don José Ruiz y Blasco. Mother, Maria Picasso y López. Spouse, Jacqueline Roque, Olga Koklova. Children, Paloma Picasso, Paul Joseph Picasso, Claude Pierre Pablo Picasso, Maya Widmeyer Picasso. Education, Real Academia de Bellas Artes, de San Fernando. Pablo Picasso was born to Don José Ruiz y Blasco and Mara Picasso y López on October 25, 1881, in Malaga, Spain. His father worked as a painter and art instructor. Picasso's talent as a painter disguised his subpar academic performance when he was in school. He was taught by his father, and by the time he was 13, he was more talented and skilled than his father. His family moved to Barcelona, Spain, in 1895. The decision paid off for him because it gave him the chance to apply to the esteemed School of Fine Arts. He was annoyed by the school's rigid restrictions, too. He started missing class to walk the streets of Barcelona and sketch everything he saw. He relocated to Madrid in 1897 to enroll in the Royal Academy of San Fernando. But he became so irritated with the regulations and formal instructions that he quit going to class. He strolled around Madrid's alleyways, taking in everything that caught his eye and painted it. He went to the Prado Museum to view works by well-known Spanish painters. When he returned to Barcelona in 1899, he discovered that he was a member of a group of intellectuals and artists who met at a café named El Quatre Gats as their meeting place. During this time, he switched from using traditional techniques to embracing avant-garde art. It was only logical for him to relocate to the city given that Paris is thought of as the global hub for avant-garde art. He relocated to Paris at the start of the new century in order to be near the center of the art world. In Paris Montmartre, he established an art studio. Despite still being a teenager, he had the ability to create any style and the wisdom to understand the significance of each style that his works from various eras have been divided by historians. As a result, his works from 1901 to 1904 were classed as belonging to the Blue Period. As the name implies, the majority of his works from this time were characterized by somber paintings in blue and bluish-green tints, with only sporadic shades of other colors. During this time, he used a variety of approaches, from the blurred technique to expressionism and divisionism. He covered a wide range of topics, including sorrow and anguish, as well as poverty and solitude. His works from this time period include Blue Nude, La Vie, and The Old Guitarist, among others. The Rose Period, which ran from 1904 to 1906 and was followed by the Blue Period, was characterized by the hue pink in the majority of his works. His paintings primarily included circus performers, acrobats, and harlequins. His writings also reflected his affectionate love with Fernande Olivier. Paintings during the Rose period, in contrast to the Blue period, were cheerful and cheery in nature, with optimism and a spirit of buoyancy evident in them. His older paintings from 1899 and 1900 exhibited this style the most. He and his buddy, Georges Braque, created a magnificent painting in 1907 that had never been painted before. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon featured 5 naked prostitutes, who were abstracted and twisted, with stark blotches of blue, green, and gray. It was composed of harsh geometric shapes. The piece served as the model and source of inspiration for the two's creation, Cubism. The primary method used in Cubist works involved disassembling and reassembling of actual things in abstract form, emphasizing their composite geometric features, and presenting them from several angles, at once to produce a physics-defying, collage-like appearance. He used the Cubist trend in his works, which led to a revolution in the field of art. 3 women, bread and fruit dish on a table, girl with mandolin, still life with chair caning, and card player are just a few of his iconic works from this time period. The next alteration in his art form was brought about by the shifting global landscape at the time of World War I. He transitioned from abstract and deformed form to portraying the grim truth of the world in his works. From 1918 until 1929, a number of his neoclassical works, such as 3 Women at the Spring, 2 Women Running on the Beach, The Race, and The Pipes of Pan, reflect his return to reality. Being a strong proponent of experimentation and invention, he did not stick with classicalism for very long before being involved with the Surrealist movement, a new philosophical and cultural fad. In his work and the works of other Surrealist painters, the Minotaur took the place of the Harlequin as the recurring motif. The Guernica is his best-known and most eminent piece from this time period. The film Guernica is a monument to the savagery, inhumanity, and viciousness of battle. It is still regarded as the best anti-war picture ever created. It was created in 1937, following the horrific aerial bombardment on the Basque town of Guernica. It depicts multiple, human-like beings in various states of agony and dread in various tones of black, white, and gray. After World War II, he entered politics. He became a member of the French Communist Party, and went to Poland for the World Congress of Intellectuals for Peace. Though he remained a devoted supporter of the Communist Party, his interest in politics was diminished by the negative remarks that his picture of Stalin generated. He had numerous relationships with lovers, mistresses, muses, and prostitutes. He was an avid womanizer. He had 2 marriages. He wed Olga Koklova, a ballerina, in 1918. A son was a blessing for the couple, who divorced in 1927. However, their union did not officially dissolve until 1955, following Koklova's passing. He was having an affair with Marie-Therese Walter, while still married to Koklova. From the union, he fathered a daughter. At the age of 80, he wed Jacqueline Roquet in 1961. He has 2 kids with her. Picasso produced a great deal during the course of his lengthy career. At the time of his passing, his estate contained more than 45,000 unsold works, including 1,885 paintings, 1,228 sculptures, 3,222 ceramics, 7,089 sketches, 150 sketchbooks, countless tapestries, and rugs. More than 16,000 paintings and drawings are included in the most comprehensive, though not exhaustive, collection of his works, the Catalogue Raisonné published by Christian Zervas. Picasso produced far more than the majority of painters of his period. According to at least one source, only American artist Bob Ross can match Picasso's volume, and Ross's works were created particularly to be rapidly and readily mass-produced. Painting was the art form in which Picasso contributed the most. Picasso employed color as an expressive tool in his paintings, but he depended on sketching, rather than color nuances, to define shape and space. To change the texture of his paint, he occasionally added sand. Picasso's The Red Armchair, 1931, which is in the collection of the Art Institute of Chicago, was nanoprobed by physicists at Argonne National Laboratory in 2012, confirming art historians' suspicions that many of Picasso's works were created using regular house paint. He painted a lot at night, using artificial lighting. Picasso's effect was, and continues to be, enormous and widely recognized by both his supporters and adversaries. Life magazine commented of his MoMA retrospective in 1939, his adversaries contend that he has been a corrupting force throughout the 25 years that he has dominated modern European art. His friends assert that he is the greatest artist currently working. In honor of his 90th birthday, Picasso was the first artist to get a special honor show in the Grand Gallery of the Louvre Museum in Paris. Robert Hughes stated this about him in 1998. It is now quite normal to say that Pablo Picasso dominated Western art in the 20th century. No artist, not even Michelangelo, had achieved such fame in his own lifetime. Picasso was the last major beneficiary of the idea that the language of painting and sculpture actually mattered to people other than their devotees, even though Marcel Duchamp, that cunning old fox of conceptual irony, has undoubtedly had more impact on ostensibly avant-garde art over the past 30 years than Picasso. Picasso had a large number of his works in his hands at the time of his death, since he had saved anything he did not need to sell off the art market. Additionally, Picasso amassed a sizable collection of the works of other well-known painters, some of whom were his contemporaries and with whom he had exchanged artwork, such as Henri Matisse. Picasso did not leave a will, thus his estate tax obligations to the French government were satisfied by the sale of his artwork and other items from his collection. These pieces make up the bulk of the vast and diverse collection housed at the Musée Picasso in Paris. Picasso's family opened the Museo Picasso Malaga, museum honoring him, in 2003 in his birthplace of Malaga, Spain. Pablo Picasso passed away from pulmonary edema and heart failure on April 8, 1973, in Mougins, France, as he and his wife Jacqueline hosted dinner guests. He was buried at the Château of Vauvenargues, which he had purchased in 1958, and shared with Jacqueline from 1959 to 1962, not far from Aix-en-Provence. Claude and Paloma's attendance at the funeral was prohibited by Jacqueline. After Picasso passed away, Jacqueline committed suicide by gunshot in 1986, at the age of 59. She was devastated and lonely.